Okay, let's take a look into my first video. Imagine this. Two soldiers came to Vietnam War. They find out that everybody is smoking heroin. Now this was a good try. You could ask me what the hell, brother, how this was a good try. Everything was bad in this video. I started, and that's the main point. Now my name is Stoll. I'm the young entrepreneur that help starting YouTubers to conquer their anxiety fears and become comfortable in front of camera so that they can scale their audience. I made more than 140 videos from this moment, and my plan is not to stop. The reason why I started is because of a Alex Hormozy podcast. I was listening to it and he was having an interview with somebody else, and he basically said a story about heroin addicts that were coming back from home, that were coming back from a war to home and were like getting off their heroin addiction just simply because of the environment. And my brain just poofed, because literally yesterday I was reading a book, Atomic Habits, and this story was taken from it. And it was really engaging and it was really interesting how Hormozy did a podcast about it. So I thought if he did it, he probably read the book and just told the story, so I could do it too. That is why I posted this video and started recording basically. Now into the recordings. I didn't have a script, I didn't have anything, just the camera, me, and the background, and we hopping in. This is a good approach to start, but if you feel anxious, if you feel like somebody else is watching you from the corner, or imagine you sitting there and you feel like a weirdo setting up this camera, just your phone, but still it does feel a little bit wrong. You're speaking to no alive thing. What the hell? This was my thoughts at the beginning, but I still overcame them because I had an idea. That's why it was easier to me to start recording. Now, the one thing that I didn't have is a script. You could just question me, but word-to-word script is really feels kind of robotic and like AI generated or whatever. You also need many cuts because you forgetting the lines. I don't have teleprompter yet, and I probably wouldn't have it because my videos are just me talking to the camera. The thing that would help me there and then, this is what I learned previously by my experience that I'm making videos, is a script. But it's not one-to-one word, like I said earlier, but it is more like 3 bullet points. 3 points that are reminding me of what I would tell. 3 takeaways that is basically a structure of my video. I got an idea about this story with heroin addicts. I don't know, not the best first video to tell, but the main point was to show the people how the environment can change you. So I could tell that the first bullet point would be change your environment, find a better place to study, more quieter, and your studies would go higher. Something like that. The second point could be, but it's not that long, you just find better environment, look into the libraries, and the third one could be ask your parents to have a quiet space, something like that. to not to open your doors widely or scream in the house, whatever. This is just random stuff that I'm coming out with my head right now. But if I would dare, my first video, I would just quickly sit down, think it through 5 minutes, put down in a note or write it down on a paper, better way, and then just put the paper be near my camera. I would not read, because if I would start reading something right now and I would tell you something, it would look weird. I always look into camera. And that's the second mistake that I did with my recording experience. What I was doing is I was all over the place, something like that, not holding a strong eye contact. It's not also about a constant eye contact, because if I would stare at you right now like this and I would speak to you and I would not move my eyes in no rotation, in no other way, it would be really weird, and you would probably think that I'm some kind of weirdo or just a cinematography
kind of guy. Hella, just think in the way that you speak to younger self. You get an idea, you get a script, you prepare it. Now, you sometimes go with your eyes out, but you focusing on the younger you or the person that you send this video on YouTube, which is basically your dream avatar, but this is a wrong channel to be in that is talking about it. Now, the third and last thing that I would change if I would start my first video, a camera position. Like, you know, there is many things when you start. How should I frame myself? Should it be on selfie camera or on a DSLR that I would rent from somebody else, like a big camera? Or should it be like on tripod, or I put it just on the stable place? Should I have lights, whatever. Don't think about it at all, Tom, because it would not help you. I remember I was like, when I watched this podcast or listened to it while it's recording my first video, I was researching on the topics, how to improve your lights, how to do a better compositioning. And I don't even have a camera or lights, whatever. I was just basically wasting my time. The best setup for YouTubers 2023, you know, something like that. It won't help me at all. It didn't, because I don't have the setup yet. If you're starting out, you probably wouldn't have to. So just pick your phone, and the one recommendation is the positioning of you. Now, pick your phone more closer to you. You could ask me why. Why closer? My pimples would be shown or whatever. Basically, because when I put it like further away from me, I would need to use my hands to gesture, you know, to show the signs of smart people. Like if I would right now go behind me a little bit, now you see my hands, and now I can move them and just show you some things. And you are not good in the gesturing on your first video. So be like it, just come closer, like I do right now. You can see my hands right now, but I still do the gestures thing because, you know, it's just, I already know how to do it, but still for the safetyness, I do it a little bit closer, and it feels more easier for me because I don't need to think about how my hands look, how my chest moves or whatever. And it's also easier in the post-editing when you're doing your cuts, because that's what I did. I started editing like straight away. I wasn't uploading from the first cut, you know, because your voice, how you would talk, would show that you're not professional. You would probably mumble. Basically, it was my first video, so I did it like many times. If you rewatched it, I even missed some words, and I need to put in the post-editing to add them, like say them in the microphone. And it looks really weird, right? In the first like 13 seconds, it probably appeared. So my thing would be to start editing straight away. And about this cuts, it would be easier for me if the phone would be closer away, because my head doesn't move that much as my body. You know, my body could rotate, my body could my hands could be there. And then after I said something engaging or something curious, and I forgot about what would I tell next, and I just put my hands down, and then I started speaking again, you know, the cut would be looking weird because your hands was there, and now they are there. So you've seen the result. Now, because I'm closer, it doesn't feel that bothering when you're cutting. And you would be cutting many stuff. Believe me, just from my experience, if you are recording your first video, in the post-editing, you will see all of your errors and all of your mistakes, even though it feels like you are the professional. Hell, nobody feels like it. So it would feel weird for you, Tom. It would be a little bit scary and also funky, but still you did it, bro. I recorded this video and I'm proud of it. It doesn't look good, it's not presentable, it is not professional at all, but I feel like it is a good knockout. I'm not regretting anything, but if I would start, I would have an idea, have a script, put my camera closer to me, and be prepared for a cuts. So repeat yourself if you did some mistakes. Don't just go ahead and skip away, but if you feel anxious, do it. The point is to pull the trigger, to push and go through the first video that you make and publish it. This is when you win. this is where I won 10 months ago.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, for the guys that are struggling with the anxiety and camera at all, you can just join my free community down below. It's literally free, it doesn't cost you anything, so you wouldn't lose your mind, bro. What the hell? Continue.
So thank you for watching, don't realize you're gonna see you in the next one. Wabang.